So I made a fin comparison video a few months back where I compared this CJ Nelson Nose Rider 10.0 to Alex Knost Sunshine Flexible, and it was quite an eye-opening experience into the difference a fin can make. Now in that video I asked for other fin recommendations, and the one that kept coming up is this fin. So this fin is the George Greenough design 4A, and this is 10.5 inches, and this is a very popular fin in the longboarding community, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Now before we analyze the session where I use this fin, let's talk about the differences between the 4A and the other fins I've been using. Now as a general rule, the wider the fin is, like this one, this is a really wide fin, that's going to give you more stability while cross-stepping and nose riding, and it's going to make your turning a little more pivoty rather than those driving, sweeping turns. Whereas a thinner fin like the Alex Knost here, this fin's got more rake and it gets really thin at the tip. This fin is going to feel more loose and allow you to drive into the turns a bit more. Now, flexibility also comes into play, and it seems like the more flexible a fin is, the more springy the board is going to feel, where you can really drive into a turn and really pop out with speed. And that's kind of what this Alex Knost fin is all about. Now let's compare the 4A to my other fins here. So first up, this is the CJ Nelson, and let's put them right up against each other. Now you can see how much wider the CJ Nelson is, so theoretically, this is going to be a lot more stable. But if we take the Alex Knost, this is very interesting. Now it's a little hard to see, but the Alex Knost gets much thinner at the top here, and it also has a bit more rake. And then when it comes to flexibility, I'm going to try to bend this Alex Knost. Alright, feels very flexible. Now here's the 4A. It's a little bit less flexible, which makes sense because the tip is a little wider on this one. Now the 4A also has duller edges. They're not quite as sharp as the Alex Knost. These are really sharp and thin edges. Now I was able to take this fin out for a test drive, so let's analyze that session and we'll see if the fin lives up to all the hype. The wind was blowing from the south, which is not ideal, but I found a spot that was blocked from the wind, and it was much cleaner. Let's watch some of the waves I caught, and then I'll share my thoughts on the fin. First, let me say, yes, this fin lives up to the hype. The waves weren't amazing, and I didn't really surf that great, but there are two aspects to this fin that make it well worth purchasing. Number one, the drive. A recurring problem I've been having with my CJ Nelson is that on the steeper drop-ins, the fin will tend to slip a little bit. However, the 4A seems to really thrive in these situations. This wave here wasn't my greatest takeoff, but you can see how well the 4A held on to this wave. Number two, you might say, well, yes, this fin does the driving turns well, but is it stable while cross-stepping? If you're comparing it to the Alex Knost, it's way more stable. I would say it's just a little bit less stable than the CJ Nelson. Throw in how well this fin holds during turns, and I would say this is the best all-around fin that I've ever used. Since our waves here in Jersey are very steep, I can see myself using this 4A quite a bit, and I plan on leaving it on my board for a while. Now, I'll never get rid of the CJ Nelson, as on the right day, it's an unbelievable fin, and maybe I need to do a direct comparison between the CJ Nelson and the 4A. But I think we'll wait until the weather gets warmer, because changing fins in icy cold conditions is not fun. Now watch this video next to see my comparison between the CJ Nelson and the Alex Knost, and I'll see everyone next week.